welcome back to the Rational Investors Broiler Chicken Show. Back. I don't know what the image on YouTube looks like. Is there anybody even actually watching this? I don't know if there's anybody even over there or not. I loaded up I was supposed to have like a whole page of all these chat windows here so I can see everybody, but as you can see, I can't even see the screen with all this crap on my face. I'm kind of feeling under the weather here today, guys. A bit of a tough slog. I don't know whether I got food poisoning or this COVID or what it is, but I've just been feeling awful for the past few days. So I was kind of joking with the gang. That's why I've got this funny garb on. All right. I think there's people over there. I don't know what it is. Like, I guess this chat room here is doesn't exist. So I'm going to put that away. Let's try and how do you do this? Problem is I can't even see. Pop out chat. All right, something like that. So okay, so we got like 3 or 4 different chat rooms going here. We got the Zoom call chat. We got the regular site chat. And we got that YouTube chat. So hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Frivolity. There's a few people there. The audio stream's bit rate is lower than recommended, but they always say that to us, don't they? Anyway. Hey, Chris. Hey, Chris, can you? Oh, I guess you can't come on camera on the show. Hey, you should see Chris is doing his absolute best Snoop Doggy Dogg impression. Damn, he looks. Somebody came on the show and was like, "Holy jeez, that looks like that Snoop Doggy Dogg guy."
Yeah, I got my hair braided this past winter season, so it's easily travelable headwear for
I
me.
think it has more to do with the crops, but
Mm, mm.
right, Eddie? Anyway, sorry, not starting the show very professionally. My apologies, everyone. But welcome back to the Frivolity. Yeah, see, I'm trying to do my civic duty. I don't want you guys to get sick. Anyway, I've got all the chat rooms going, so they're all over here. There's the camera over there. Oh God, I feel just like crap. I don't know how long I can do this today. I'll try my best, but I tell you, I feel like absolute garbage right now. But the show must go on, mustn't it? Obviously, you guys are probably all pretty pleased with what's happened with crypto and Bitcoin. Actually, you know, a lot of the little junior names are all starting to come alive too right now. If anything, what a perfect analogy, eh? It's like the past month or two, you couldn't give away an altcoin. And now all of a sudden they're just popping off right, left, and center. And I got to say, it's pretty cool coming on the site and seeing all the doubles posts. You guys get it. It's cool watching. It's almost like, hey, these guys actually listen to me and they're making money from trading. Yay, way to go. Oh, goodness. I mean, before I pass out, I might as well make darn sure we've got the plug for the school. If you do want to learn what these guys are doing, and actually, you know, before we get into the shameless plug, the problem is all this personal protective gear. I can't see anything. I think we want to. Do I have the library already open? I wonder what's behind that tab over there. Oh well, can't see it. There's Twitter. Oh yeah. Actually, we could probably do it here. If I go over to Josh, I think just, yeah. I mean, he was even posting because it's pretty noticeable. All the wins people are getting on the site right now. It's quite remarkable. And the interesting thing about this is every term, well, maybe like every quarter, I like to sort of demonstrate how you sort of vet out setups and how you sort of go through the process of deciding if you're going to add a particular setup to your trading plan. And this term, I've actually taken on the Algo, the site's Algo, and using it as sort of my timing tool for Bitcoin purchases. And I got to say, this was pretty cool because there's so much of what we do here that just makes so perfect sense. So like this cross right here, price was man, kind of, I mean, it was what, like 16 G's or something. And we did the show with Paul and we did it like 3 or 4 weeks in a row, or basically it was just doing nothing. And then we had a little flash sell signal. Then we had a flash buy signal, and notice how the teal was pointing down over here and we're below the 50 line. Then we had, like I said, little quick flash sell. So I had to hop out of the position. I think I took like a, I don't know, $13 loss or something like that on the trade. And then all of a sudden we quickly had a buy signal come right back in, and I jumped right back into the same trade, basically the same level. And the price just took off like a rocket. So really, really good analogy. Indicators above the 50 line, which in itself is a vote of bullish confidence. Teal pointing up, sloping higher, and bullish cross. And I mean, it doesn't even really look that significant right here. I mean, it's just such a simple, small little window. And yet, if you look at Bitcoin, I mean, just keep that in mind, right? So that is that's January 7th, 8th, right? January 7th, I think, is where I got back in on this trade. Back to so this term, finishing that thought that I started earlier, this term, Chris and I are working on an opening range trade setup. You can see how much work is involved in vetting out this opening range trade. And we actually are doing it on 3 different markets, on gold, on oil, and on the stock market. So this is one plan. Like I said, every quarter I kind of like to do this. Just, keep yourself fresh and constantly trying new stuff. And also too, hopefully helping Chris out. Chris, what do you think? Has this been a good experience for you? Well,
I was fumbling with the windows again. I think it's been a great experience. I also updated my last week's data, so if you want to go to that weekly page, you can probably see an
I haven't,
updated.
so I don't want to
Oh,
show
oh, I'm sorry.
it.
Sorry about that.
I'm sick, so I haven't updated it, and it's gonna make me look embarrassed. But yeah, I think you got off you had a hell of a week last week, didn't you?
It was a better week than the previous week, so I'm thankful for that.
Chris is humble. Anyway, so at the same time too, we just built this most beautiful. Sorry, I'll get through this. Oh, and by the way, I called and had to cancel Liam because there's no way I could drive him around for 3 or 4 hours in the state that I'm in right now. I'll be lucky if I get through an hour of this with you guys just sitting in one place. Anyway, so I created this also this little shitcoin. Well, not shitcoin, Bitcoin. Just all I wanted to do is just demonstrate how do you vet out a setup. And this happens to be just a really, really simple. We're just going to buy algo signals. And actually, this is exactly what is supposed to happen, is that you get a whole bunch of these little doopsie-doo kind of trades. And then you get one big honking trade. This is going to be like what, about $3,000 profit if we close it out here. That's what should happen. So if anything, I'm very pleased to see that. So anyway, I'm not exactly sure what the heck to do here. Both the fast and the slow are sitting at 100. I mean, like literally, if anybody sneezes here, I got to walk away from the trade. And the interesting thing is that everything is just booming higher. So you might as well just don't get in front of this thing while it's racing up. And actually, probably a good illustration of that is these are my futures. Wrong screen. Got too many charts, I swear. Either I have too many charts or not enough screens. One of the two. Oh, goodness. Yeah, here we are, little altcoins. Look at all these, and actually interesting to see the crypto stocks all just going crazy in the stock market heading into the weekend. But I actually wanted to point out, and I even tweeted it out, that this sushi was such a perfect analogy of a trader's life. I don't hear enough people on social media and stuff talk about this, and this is, and I even put this tweet out. This is such a beautiful illustration of the different types of risk takers in the marketplace and how they participate, and what is their sort of commensurate positions. Little old ladies, of course, all of you, I think you fancy yourself little old ladies, but I don't think you really are. Because I did notice that when price goes down, you all get pissed off. But technically, little old lady, she has faith that she's not taking more than 5% risk on any one trade, blah, blah, blah. So she doesn't really care too much. She just want to make sure that her account's in good standing and all that kind of fun stuff. So he, little old man, maybe, I don't know. I suppose not allowed to use little old lady references. That's sexist, or little old houseplant. That goes up to shade if you're watching. Anyway, point is that they could basically risk to zero. Then there's Joe Sixpack, and that's the actual the trade sort of setup that I took. And this is what most retail investors are: is you go and buy something, but if it breaks down to new lows, you just got to walk away. And I noticed that, gee whiz, recently, man, we came damn close on this thing. I mean, there were a number of days there where most people were on the site were kind of like, Brian, you suck, man. But the point here is you don't do anything until actual levels pre-vetted actually get broken. And isn't this incredible? Nice little inside bar reversal. That is technically a buy. That's a very aggressive buy. Then you get this most beautiful W. Look at this beautiful little empire right down in here. This is actually one of the futures traders' favorite trade setups. This 3-bar pattern. Now you can call it a fractal. I suppose you could call all 5 of these bars a fractal too. So that's a buy signal there. And then, as we said, big fat W's, down, up, down, breakout. And you might even argue that this could have been considered a buy signal, that candle there, because we closed above these levels. Yeah. So, and then, your big fat lazy guys who just want to see this whole price action and move through that high is a buy signal. So this pattern right down in here, and really, I think this is what most of you are, is you could see the theme that I have for today, right? This is the crypto degen look. And I think most of you are this trader here. You tell me on balance that you want to be this trader here, but I don't think you guys really are the little old ladies. I think you're all really, you want to be this guy here. Anyway, this would be the margin trader, the relative risk taken on all these little buy signals down here at the bottom end of the range. That's I think probably most of you. And I'm not going to say it's easy taking that trade, but that is the trader's trade right down in there. So if you're an investor, no big deal. I mean, the irony of it all is you look at this chart, you tell me, are we at the bottom end of a very huge range? I mean, look at the top of the range all the way. You can't even see the price now. 50% levels back to $12. And we're down here in the original sort of basing. I always like to call this the institutional fingerprint. Do hear, what's interesting on YouTube? God, I hear, there's so many new sort of expert traders out there. If you go through those YouTube shorts and all those kind of things, and I remember a long time ago there was one guy, I think his name was I want to say ICT, Inner Circle Trader, something like that. Anyway, think you like to call these like order blocks or something like that. And now I hear all over YouTube, order block, oh, order block. All right, fine, cool. Whatever works for you. Point here is you got to identify price coming down into the bottom end of range and you got to act. And that was fascinating about a month ago. Couldn't give this thing away. Literally could not give this thing away. Hold on. I get these waves of nausea. All right, it's fast. And now, I mean, the irony of it all is it's still pretty darn cheap. I mean, look at this. I mean, it really hasn't started to perform yet in earnest. So, fascinating analogy of a trader's life. So the sharpshooter traders, and I'm seeing this right across the board. This one probably hasn't performed as well. This margin trader buy signal there was about $1. It's $1.30 now, so up around $2. That's probably where the margin trader wants to maybe take some money off the table. Although probably the margin trader is probably doing things like doing Foggenbaum levels. 2.618, 4.669s. Those kind of levels would probably also be pretty good objectives, especially with this 4669 taking out these liquidity pool up top there. My hunch is 877s are basically a test of that high. So let's see. Survey says, yeah, perfect. Look at that. And that's basically at your double level. So it doesn't surprise me to see that. Anyway, and you know, the cool thing is you just go right across the crypto universe. Look at this one, this mana. I've been telling you guys about Decentraland and all that kind of stuff. If you had snuck in there, I mean, it would have been awfully difficult. But, you know, the kind of like buy when it snows, sell when it goes. Really nice momentum divergences confirmed through here. Beautiful W in RSI, beautiful W in Willie. Willie is stupidly oversold, and these are on divergences, divergence there, divergence there, divergence there. So, boom. Merry Christmas. I don't know. You know, a big part of the problem right now is do you chase? Do you chase? Do you chase? Do you chase? I don't think so. I don't think that's a good idea. But what you have to do is you have to be damn careful, you know, and you just have to watch for these W's that come in on the indicators down at the bottom end range. And then you got to be able to step up and pull the trigger. I'm not going to say it's easy. I did notice a couple names that we were buying through the end of the year have done very, very well. Look at this one. Boom. Hello. What letter of the alphabet is that? Look at that chart. Holy crap on a stick. That's incredible. And this is pretty damn impressive because look how wide these bases are here. So that means, I mean, look at that volume. I always tell people volume speaks volumes. Look at that volume surge. Rawr, I'm above. Don't get in my way. You know, we could probably even start looking out on weekly charts. I got a funny feeling that's a pretty damn important base there for this thing. Look at that. What a chart. Holy crap. That's incredible. So we're looking for a name to finance our Portugal adventure. I think this is going to be it. Thank you, Zugi. We're all going to get stinking rich. Thank you. Appreciate it. We'll see how that goes. Anyway, yeah, I mean, damn, Josh, this is everything that we teach. And speaking of which, maybe that's the dovetail is, you know, if you want to learn it, I mean, where do you start the sales pitch? This whole game comes down to a relative anxiety. And if you don't have your plan, if you don't have who you are, the amount of money you're working with, where you're trading, what product it is you're buying, selling, what type of risk taker you are, what exchange you're operating on, what are you going to do when you get fills? Do you keep your coins on the exchange? Do you take them off and put them on a ledger or something? You know, if you don't pre-vet all of that, then what ends up happening, I mean, gee whiz, I was barking for weeks about this damn Litecoin. I mean, I just kept barking about it over and over and over. And I had so many people tell me that, oh, Litecoin's dead, it's over, that story's finished and stuff. So it just clearly goes to show, number one, they're absolutely wrong. And that's usually the job of the market, which really sucks. I shouldn't laugh. Yeah, let's give you a little bit. There's our funny chart. There goes Charlie breaking out to new highs. I don't know whether Charlie's still in this story or not, but I still think this thing's got a long way to go. But if you didn't have like your whole plan like pre-vetted and everything, well, I buy W's and the fundamentals in Litecoin are pretty good. That Beamish guy. Interestingly enough, with Litecoin, because it's moved up so much now, and this is probably a good analogy. Question is, where do I show you this? Not here. Litecoin was like sort of a number one on our hit list here, crypto. And like the really, really attractive names are names that have a bullish weekly moving average relationship, but are still pretty far below their 50% levels of their recent ranges, that the trade is still attractive on a risk reward basis. In fact, you get paid still quite a bit. So you can see, I gotta move my what is it? PPG, is that what they call this stuff? PPE, anyway. So there's Doge still giving us a 6. The 50% level is at 13 and the price is still 7. So it's almost still a double. But you notice that Litecoin now is only a 5 when Litecoin was a 6 forever. Why? Well, if you look, 50% level now is 97 and the price is already 84. So, the profit margin, if you actually do go and buy that Litecoin, well, it's shrinking. It's not that much anymore. And I think our threshold for it to be an attractive trade is at least like 25, 30%, something like that. So as a result, Litecoin has fallen out of the 6 category. It's still very attractive and it's still trending higher. But unfortunately, it's not in that sort of sexy sex part of the market anymore, because the darn price just keeps moving up. We're moving on up, moving on up. Anyway, so in our crypto top 30 list, we've got a few names, and it doesn't surprise me that Allen and Doge. And I think that half of the reason why Litecoin is doing as well as it is because it is Doge related. I think it's still attractive proposition. Let's pull up the chart. And I don't know what it is. Is it just personal hubris, or is it, I think I have a beef with the guy because I really don't like how he uses his autism as an excuse for poor behavior. But there is the Doge chart. That's a weekly versus tether chart. And I got to say, that's if you were going to like teach a course on, hey, this is the kind of stuff you want to pay attention to if you want to go and risk your hard-earned money in the marketplace. Well, there it is, folks. It's staring you right in the goddamn face. And the worst part about it, like I said, is that when I made the same argument about Litecoin a month or two ago, literally, and this harkens back to when I used to work at a prop firm in Chicago, and I told them I was going to go save the world and try and educate all you people. And they're like, Brian, you're wasting your time. Get back in the pits and get trading, you bastard. What are you doing? Wasting your time. So prove them wrong. And like I said, with these tweets that I saw Josh posting them out. Josh is fantastic member of our team. I get the impression, although I'm not quite sure. Yeah, I get the impression that you are proving the Chicago boys wrong. Listen to me. Try and understand what it is that I'm barking about. Why do I, the irony of it all, a year or two ago, I was getting all angry here and I was frustrated and I was pissed off because I literally watched the YouTube shillers, all the influencers. I mean, all these people. And you know what's so frustrating? This is what I just don't get about this, is that these people have like hundreds of thousands of views. And I look at their, you know, a lot of these guys, they just sit there and they're just rhetoric. They don't actually teach you anything in the process. It's baffling. I don't know what it is I'm doing wrong, where we only get like, you know, like maybe 500, 1,000 views of these videos. It doesn't make any sense to me whatsoever. What the fuck am I doing wrong? I just don't get it. Because this stuff works. It's just the problem is you got to basically be buying when nobody else is interested. And you got to be selling when, you know, Sedona Euphoria is out there barking away. So anyway, so the point here, and the great part about it is we've got these tools now on the site. I mean, these site tools, this is, you know, first and foremost, this is like my career. So I've been working on this concept of and this is called the, specifically, this is measured off of what's called the Delacour Index. And the only reason why I would call it that is because it's my name. Officially, I am Brian Delacour Beamish the 11th. Some crazy ass number behind my name, but it's so meaningless that you end up forgetting what the number is. But this is what we call the DI, Delacour Index. Sort of my whole sort of mantra. And if anything, this chart makes perfect sense, because we're supposed to buy energy in the middle of February, sell it the middle of May, made money 9 out of the past 10 years, blah, blah, blah. So you can see that the indicators are already setting up the bottom. You know, we probably have a pullback here, if I understand correctly. And one reason why I think maybe crypto is going to have a bit of a pullback, number one, I mean, the space is getting so ridiculously bullish. That's usually a bad sign. You know, I used to put tweets out to the effect where I'd go, you know, this thing can only go to 0. Once it hits 0, you got to start thinking the other direction. And then now, we can only go to 100, folks. At some point, we got to start thinking the other direction. So here we are. We're at 100. Merry Christmas. And you can see the broader crypto universe breadth with all of the, oh, Jesus. Hold on. All right, with all the bear proxies and bull proxies and ups, downs, and we also cover a lot of like your currency proxies that trade on these crypto exchanges. Anyway, it's already rolled over. So I would imagine I'll probably be selling that big recent Bitcoin long fairly shortly. I'm not exactly sure when. I'm just the plan is just to follow the algo signal here. And I'm pretty proud of the algo signal. It's up quite a bit. It did really well on that. Anyway, so point here is that this breadth indicator is based off of the DI, you know, and, you know, here's Litecoin, speaking of awesome looking cryptocurrencies. So there is the DI. Look at that beautiful base. Oh my God, so beautiful. Look at all these W's. Look at that W down in there. And then this bigger W. Oh my goodness. And then another W. Holy crap. And there goes price. Could even argue there was probably a nice little bullish bot trend continuation trade set up right in there. Very strong volumes too. You know, we always say volume speaks volumes. And I love it when I see down, you know, and these lows on the green volume bars base. Got this nice little up. That was a great little W right there in the green volume bars, showing that the bulls were sort of back awake. And then a pullback, higher lows, and then another break just, I guess, last week. So this thing just keeps painting higher highs and higher lows on the green bars. That's always a good sign. But, you know, as we said, can't chase. You know, this kind of like in here. Brian, should I come in and buy Litecoin up here? No, I don't think that's a good idea. Maybe just we got to let things cool down here a little bit. And I think that the main reason why we're going to get that cool down is first and foremost, well, actually, we're not even there yet. But how do we describe this? Okay, I guess the first thing that I would say is we have to think at all times, and I think this is just a good idea, you have to think about sort of Richard Wyckoff. Wyckoff? Yeah, I think that's his name. And I tell you, it's a bit frustrating using Twitter these days. Before what's his face took over this nonsense, you never saw that happen. So I'm not quite sure why that's happening so much nowadays. But as I was saying there a moment ago, I think at any given point in time, you kind of have to think like this in the marketplace. So I do see that sort of through that past month or so, we had a bit of a basing period come in. They had a sort of a key low and it was tested, and then markets started to move back up. Our crypto show host, co-host, Paul, oh man. He went and bought down at the bottom end of the range, and he was selling on rallies up into the upper end of the range, just the smaller range. I mean, keep in mind this is just a schematic. I also do like the idea, very typical fashion. The Wall Street people, I think, are now heavily involved in crypto and all the different crypto derivatives. So things like all the stocks, even the ETFs, all that kind of stuff. So they want to get paid. And usually the way the game goes is through tax loss selling season, the end of the year, venture cap names are usually very weak. And I think we saw that as pretty normal. What we saw, I mean, hell, you can use Litecoin as an example, right? So there's November, December, right? Very weak. This guy actually started to perk up a little bit sooner than most of the rest of the market. In fact, actually here, we could probably use the crypto breadth indicator itself, right? You can see December, very weak, lots of tax loss selling. And of course, we have that jerk SBF go and drop a bombshell in the space. And fascinating through all of that, I think they really tried very, very hard to destroy Binance. But CZ was just one step ahead of them. It's kind of funny. Anyway, it is what it is. I suppose the sushi name, if Binance did go under, then we probably would have seen that sushi name collapse. Anyway, the point here is now we're probably going to work our way up into the spring. I'm probably going to need a trading view chart to show you this. Where's the best way to show you this? BTC USD. Doof. Boom. All right. So, I mean, interesting. You can see we're still, I mean, we are very much down at the bottom end of the range. Technical analysis 101, we should always ask ourselves, and actually this might be a good opportunity to get some interaction with you people. What should we always be thinking? Technical analysis 101, the very first question you'll always ask yourself. Comforting lies or uncomfortable truths? Well, maybe. Excellent, Omar. Jesus, my eyesight's going too. Can't even read that. So I got to take off my DGen glasses and I got to put on my reading glasses. Now I'm a little old lady again. Hey, there you go. I guess it kind of helps to do these things without sunglasses on. What, Steve? I don't know whether you can hear me, man. I'm sick as a dog right now, and I don't want to infect you guys. So actually, I'm trying to be good, a good citizen here, right? Right, so you didn't get sick, right? All right, so there we go. 50% level, 50 from Omar, 50% from Lee, 0.5 fib. Now, MM, you know that Mr. Gann would shit his pants if he heard you say that. Says spend some on ads. That's to get the viewership up. Anyway, so you're right, but it's WD Gann, and Mr. Gann would be personally insulted if you call it a fib. Anyway, that's that's just, you know, what's so funny is, and I'm hearing this all the time, it drives me crazy, is I hear people call these wicks, and it's like, oh, come on, you're killing me. What are all these called? Thank you, Talal. Does anybody know what these are called? Tails, that's right. And I'm hearing so many people, you know, all of these trading experts on YouTube. And, you know, I got 5 million followers on my YouTube feed, and I just made $16,000 last week because of all my followers. And they're calling these things wicks. And it's like, ah! Well, you know, tail, right? What do they call it? The girls in their tails like to be, oh, well, go there. All right, anyway, point of the matter. Oh, goodness. Wow. And I haven't talked in earnest over the past couple of days, but wow, I can feel myself totally heating up. Maybe I should better not press myself too much here. So the point being that we still got a long way to go to get back to just sort of respectability here. So cute little W, but I guess my hunch is this will need some structure going forward. You know, you got a cute little base. If anything, that's almost a harmonic unto itself. And we probably look for the market to go after these liquidity pools. And, you know, if anything, this is a really good example of, well, let's see if you guys can read my mind. What do you think I'm thinking when I see something like this? Huge down move, consolidation, then a move higher. At this point, what am I gonna say? It wouldn't surprise me, DMAC. It wouldn't fucking surprise me. 2 words, both start with the same letter. Don't chase. Well, yeah, okay. Those don't start with the same letter, though. I mean, that's good. I'm glad you're acting like a professionally. That's excellent. Anyway, what I'm thinking is, look left. Although that kind of looks like a C, eh? Terrible. Anyway, look left. So what do I mean by that? Once we sort of clear through, especially when we got through that high there, you have to ask yourself, where's the next sort of significant pivot point? And think about it, like the easiest way for you to think about this is where are there places where there are trapped people that would love to be able to get out? So right up in here, you know, there's a bunch of people that actually went and bought thinking that, hey, this is a new bull market. Actually, interesting. Was this a little lower? That was 18,157, 18,183. Yeah. So people probably, some people even said, well, you know, that looks like a W to me, so I'm going to buy that. So they're all sort of trapped up there. And then the market just puked out and they went, fuck it, who cares? Just leave it. I've lost a bunch of money, but it'll come back. I believe in Bitcoin. Now, and of course, we like to call these people, let's see if you guys can answer this. Where are these guys that bought this right here? Where are they sleeping right now? Anyone? Oh, see, I don't know. These glasses, that doesn't look very crypto degen. I gotta do that. There we go. Now I'm back to crypto degen. There we go. They're sleeping on the couch, right? Because they took the family vacation money and they went and blew it on. Okay, I've had enough of this nonsense. It's not working. And my glasses keep getting fogged up. I tell you though, I feel like crap. But thankfully, with this computer stuff, oh, Jesus, the stuff doesn't go through the interneting, right? Okay, so look left. The point being that this is a huge level right here. As well too, as somebody on YouTube just pointed out, that you can think of this also as there are people that are short. So as the market makes lower highs and lower lows, and that was a pretty big break to a lower low, they're just moving their stops as we make lower highs and lower lows. You know, maybe they had their stop up here, we make a new low, although I don't, maybe on a clothesline, I don't know. Anyway, they move their stop to there, then boom, we make a new low, move their stop to there. So this is what I would call, well, I mean, I think everybody in the space calls it a liquidity pool. Why liquidity? What do you mean by that? The guys who bought here, they would love to sell and get out of those positions. And that might mean that the market comes up into this area and this guy goes, oh, thank God I can get off the couch. I can get that family vacation money back. Wife isn't angry at me, and back in the good books. As well, so those guys are buying in here. No, beg your pardon. They're selling in here, right? They did buy this W and now they're selling and going, phew, get me the hell out of there. Then stop loss orders, guys who are short, they will place their stop here, which means that they will buy here. So you got like two, both, I think, equal participants. If anything, this is a really good example of, in our advanced education program, we teach stop management principles. And I would actually argue that having your stop here is actually sort of putting like almost like a big magnet on the back of your head, like a big, bullseye kind of thing, where literally price is going to get sucked to this level, because anybody who's sort of like a trader dude, and if it's one thing we have in crypto is we have a hell of a lot of degen traders. So if they, you see the sentiment, everybody and their brother is bearish, so that means everybody and their brother is probably short. And if they're sort of trading in kind of an amateur fashion, then they're probably very quickly moving stops down to lock in profits. Did they move their stop down to this level? They might have. And so if they're short, that becomes a buy order. So if they can trip up and push price through this level, then a whole bunch of buy orders all come in and jack price up. Well, that's very normal. It's not really a big surprise. Also, too, think of it this way: crypto degen traders, right? I get the impression over the past 5-10 years, I've had a lot of people actually say to me that the one thing that they appreciate about me is that at least I brought in sort of like financial literacy into this space. So people understand, what the hell, why is a W important? What does it imply? And why is an M important? What does it imply? Is it a good idea to think about where you are on the price chart if you're thinking about doing something? Is it a good idea when you're this far down at the lower end of the range of the trade to be considering new short positions? Simon Dixon, a guy I respect immensely in this space, he tells his audience, hey, if you ever get like an 80% correction in Bitcoin price, just buy it. Don't be stupid. Frankly speaking, it's not bad, simple rule of thumb. right? Whoops. Where's that 80? Why did that not show? Point. Oh, that didn't work. There we go. Right, so there's 80%. So you know who this is? This is Simon Dixon. That's who's buying that shit. Anyway, I suppose all my swears don't help out the YouTube stuff. So my apologies, YouTube. All right, so the point of the matter here is I think that there's a bunch of reasons that we could expect this level to be traded to. It wouldn't surprise me at all. And considering how far down we are, I mean, as somebody I think even pointed out, oh, there's in the lounge, but we have one site OG who absolutely loves his 38.2 fib level to the 50% level as sort of his, well, if the market is still trending, then we're probably going to rally back into or sell off into this window, and then you can strap on a new trade. I don't know whether we're supposed to say his name. I've never really gotten the word back. Some people like me to say their name, some people don't. But we'll call it the, in this case, it would be the dump chaser zone. So I don't really have a problem with anybody sort of anticipating that we actually do rally up into this window. That's really wouldn't be shocking at all. And then also too, like I said earlier, Wall Street has come into this space in earnest. They are securitizing this space. And that means that they need to see price volatility to get paid for all of their market manipulation. So Bitcoin just sitting there doing absolutely nothing doesn't pay them. It's pointless. It's useless. So we got to inject a bit of volatility. The space got extremely bearish. And ironically enough, actually right into a very, if this asset was very Wall Street-ish, then it would do exactly what you saw here, tax loss selling window. As soon as the tax loss selling window is done, woohoo, go in the other direction. The only question that I have here is, it is interesting that, you know, I think one of the main reasons why crypto is coming back as hard as it is right now is this whole idea that the Sam Bankman-Fried guy went and mysteriously found a whole bunch of money that he was, you know, I don't know what the term is, misappropriation. I don't know. Anyway, so I get the feeling that in crypto itself, there's quite a bit of sort of sense of relief, like, whew. And also too, especially within the Wall Street community, because of course they all got hit so hard with Mr. Bankman-Fried nonsense. So if anything, it almost makes perfect sense that they dump this thing into absolute bottom end of the range, get the public, of course, selling, got a nice big juicy scandal. And then it turns out that after the fact, oh, it turns out actually it wasn't that bad of a scandal. Psych! And the damn market goes ripping back up because all of you in the public sold. You know, ironically enough, the financial advisors would be like, well, you took advantage of tax loss selling season. And I always tell people, this is a really good lesson for all of you if you really care to learn. Never, ever, ever make financial decisions in the marketplace based on tax reasons. You know, if you're going to, you know, do tax loss selling, okay, fine. I mean, that's just the way it goes. That means you got to gain somewhere else and you want to offset those gains so you don't have so many taxes to pay. But that doesn't necessarily mean that this is a good sell here. And I might argue anybody that could have taken advantage of that tax loss selling, they're getting paid now. It's very, this is so cliche, it's ridiculous. And then I'd also say too, there's a couple other things going on here. You know, Ethereum, same sort of idea. Interestingly enough, I actually went and bought Ethereum at about $1,000 there. I think it was somewhere in there down late last summer. I think it was like 1,022 or something like that. Some crazy ass number. I was pretty lucky, to be honest with you. But it was just simply big fat round number. And interestingly enough, I think you could make the argument that if you did buy that original bottom down in there, that all we did was this is exactly like the sushi trade that I showed you there a few minutes ago. And look at this bottom that just came in through there. I mean, that's absolutely textbook. But the point that I just wanted to make about all this was that try and keep my concentration here. On top of the fact that we have tax loss selling season, there's actually this concept in the market, probably even Litecoin's probably even better, but man, Litecoin is already based. So no, I don't think so. I think ironically enough, I think Bitcoin's actually the best one here, but we'll use Ethereum because it looks like it jumped the most here. You can see we have this concept in the market called the January effect. And you can see, I mean, this thing just got sold off into the ground here, into the end of the year. Down, 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 down. And if anything, my whole sort of, we used to have a lady on the site and we named a setup after her. We called it the LJ setup. And I think you can make the argument, nice little W down over here on the other side of this trend line help set up this trade. But the point here is that, week into the end of the year. Look at that, December. I mean, God, this is absolutely textbook. This is ridiculous. Somebody should write a course on this stuff, I tell you, man. So there is the end of the year. Tax loss selling, sell it. It's a piece of crap. Sell it, sell it, sell it. And then like literally the first day of the year, and look at what this damn thing has done since then. So that is your most crystal clear example of the January effect. And if you were going to do a short on YouTube, I think I got that explained in about a minute. But that would probably be a really good little clip. I mean, that's absolutely textbook, and you never hear anybody talk about that kind of stuff in the marketplace. And the interesting thing with Ethereum is that actually I've seen Ethereum do this 2 or 3 times in the past. So this isn't anything out of the ordinary, very typical. But I suppose that, I mean, one sort of clue that there was a potential for a market bottom coming in. I actually was a bit surprised. But I heard Chico Crypto. You know what the first thing that told me that a market bottom would come in? Is a guy went and shaved. I mean, he like never shaves. He has a beard like out to here, right? When it's a bear market and he's just, totally sanguine. And then I tuned in one day and he was like totally clean shaven. It was like, whoa, something just happened. So I think that when Chica, and if I understand correctly, now he's got his live stream back up and running. So he's all full of piss and vinegar. And I had mentioned that recently, that a video that he was touting around the end of the year was basically saying, you better go and buy those 32 Ethereums because it's showtime, folks. And I got, when you have an influencer like that, talking like that, I mean, how the hell are you going to have the market go down? He's encouraging people to go and buy 32 Ethereums. If you do it over like 1,000 people, that's 32,000 Ethereums that need to be accumulated. And then, of course, add insult to injury, this is absolutely exactly where you're supposed to be buying. So what a surprise, big fat rally here. Anyway, so I got to say, I've been in this space a long time. Basically, I've been in here since Mike Hearn's raid quit. I've been in here since Roly Poly Oly and Mount Gox. And actually, I remember distinctly influencers in the space getting all upset about Ross. And if you don't know who Ross is, then maybe you need to learn a little bit about crypto. And I honestly believe, and I have absolutely no affiliation with the guy whatsoever, but if there was a guy, there's a few people that I respect in this space. I mentioned Simon Dixon. I think he's got a relatively honorable approach to this space. And Tyler over there at Crypto Chico, I think that's his name, Tyler. Is that right? Is it Tyler? If it isn't, I should still. Yeah, it is. Yeah, Ross. Yeah, Adam. Anyway, so the point here is actually what's happened here on Ethereum is actually pretty cliche. Oh, ironic, eh? And then, of course, add insult to injury. You want to make life easy for yourself, just follow the damn TRI algo. I mean, the TRI algo, it was encouraging us immensely to get long in the middle of December there. I mean, isn't that interesting? Middle of December, it actually turned back up. And as I said, what I did find most interesting about this is when I went out into the world and I was going, gee whiz, Litecoin's perking up here. Looks totally awesome. Of course, Doge is turning back up. Doge, whatever. And then I had a few of my names that I was interested. That's Sushi. I had a couple that kind of waffled on me a bit and I had to hop off, but I was able to ride out a good portion of the storm on most of my recent purchases. And lo and behold, now we got a big fat rally. And if anything, I hate to say it, but this is such a great analogy. The market's always going to do the market's job is to inflict as much pain on as many people as much of the time as possible. So the question is, what would be the most painful event to happen in the crypto space right now? Would it be that Bitcoin goes down some more down here? I don't know, because I think anybody who was going to sell did sell. Tax loss selling, all that crap, right? So what would inflict the most pain? Ironically enough, I think inflicting the most pain, it would be to have price go up. The people that are short, they're going to get punished. And more importantly, the people that did sell all through this period here, they're going to now be really, really upset. So, and probably they're going to come back and FOMO buy into all of these highs. And they're probably walking into a trap. Now, why do I say that? I think I showed you this earlier, but I'm not totally positive. I don't think the market's going to move in a straight line. I think that 2023 is supposed to be a really important sort of pivot year for the market, whether it be 6 months before halving events, and the halving event this coming cycle is sort of the middle of 2024. So that means we probably should see some sort of bottom mid 23 in Bitcoin, whether it be Bitcoin's 4-year cycles, whether it be the 4-year money cycle, which is what I think that this really Bitcoin trades off of. And this is a classic. There's Mr. Wyckoff, who lived about 100 years ago or so. And he noticed that he saw this pattern happen a lot of the times in assets that are trying to base. And I have a funny feeling we're going to look something along these lines before all is said and done. Wall Street, of course, I don't know whether this is the tax loss selling and we're going through this right now. That could be. AR could be that recent high that I was talking about, and then we went after the stops and all that. We could very easily roll over here because sadly right now we're still well above cost of production. So you can't really make the argument that Bitcoin is huge value right now. At 20 G's, I think, I've publicly disseminated news releases from crypto mining companies that they publicly state that their cost of production is about $6,500. Also, too, well, anyway, so, and then I think I saw somewhere else, another firm said that their cost was around 7,500. So 6,500, 7,500, I don't know. I mean, usually markets don't like to base at the cost of production because then that opens up the potential for 51% of tax. And you might even argue in the classic commodity space, same sort of thing. Gold, the gold price, if you get the gold price to go below cost of production for even the majors, then it doesn't make sense for the majors to even be in the business. So the way that we sort of identify that, hey, we're running out of producers and we have a very limited pool of miners here, and that unfortunately sets up a wicked variability or vulnerability for Bitcoin, is that 51% of talk. And interestingly enough, we actually did start to get talk about potential 51% attacks down here, which I did find fascinating. I mean, the correlation is like absolutely perfectly timed. There's another thing, crypto influencers aren't going to give you sort of actual tools that you can use on a daily basis. But I'll tell you, if you've never heard it before, write it down. You should all have your journals out and be journaling away. But one of the easiest ways that you can determine that it's time to start accumulating Bitcoin is when you hear people start talking about the 51% of tax. And of course, we never hear any of that kind of conversation up here. It's so stupid. So anyway, it is what it is. So put it all together. Are we going to go just straight up into Collins zone? I don't think so. I will say, this cycle here, you can see how we bobbed and weaved and moved our way all the way up. And this was a 61.8 fib. So could we be in this? I think we could be in this phase right now. So we've had sort of a bounce right off the bottom. Well, actually, maybe, I think I would like this phase better. So we had the bottom, we had a double bottom against the lows, we had a big rally, we're moving up and we're coming back up against previous significant highs. Then you see that there is some sort of sharp correction and then a consolidation, and then we continue working our way higher. So I actually do like this kind of thinking in here. Right now, the issue here, of course, is I get the impression that we've gone maybe a little too far, too fast. I don't know. But I wouldn't be surprised if there's a liquidity pool here and one here. And if all hell breaks loose, maybe all the way up top there. If anything, though, you probably don't want this thing to rally too far, too fast. What would be better, really, in my opinion, is, let's assume that, okay, we do actually get up into that level. Okay, that's cool. What I'd like to see then is a nice pullback. Notice this low here corresponds with this original breakout bottom. So if anything, this turns into a big honking head and shoulders pattern. Something like that. And this shoulder here, right, and this level right here becomes immensely important right there. So if we happen to see this market continue rally, and it might, I don't think it's a good idea to call tops in here. But what I would simply say, and this probably makes sense too, that's probably like reload zones. Yeah, you can see 78.6. That would probably be my ideal buy window here for this asset, right down in there. And if that came in, ironically enough, right around my birthday, I could live with that. Probably going to be a little bit later. Usually my birthday is crappy in Bitcoin. So let's maybe push that out. In fact, the dump that happens here probably is through my birthday window. So there's May 10th. Usually Bitcoin craps out on my birthday. For all those of you that are going to buy me gifts this year, my birthday is May 11th. Actually, and in years gone by, it's been kind of shitty that I had to sort of take the personal blame for Bitcoin dumping here, but it turns out it's not my fault. It turns out that actually there is another gentleman who has a birthday on May 11th, and it was always his fault, not mine.
I don't think so. I don't know if that works. I think it's still your birthday. I don't think your birthday changes.
Hey, I could be like almost puking, but still have a sense of humor. Anyway, as you can tell, there's another guy here who's got a birthday on May 11th. And frankly speaking, I've never met anybody else in my life who had the same birthday as me. So I'm blown away by the fact that Chris has come into my life. And actually, we made pretty good trading pair, eh? Like, what do you think? This opening range trade shit that we're doing together, we work together well together.
I believe so. I enjoy it. Every waking you up a little bit earlier than me, but it's good stuff.
Yeah, and that's why I got to get my fucking ass over to Portugal, man, because this would be just like the middle of the day. Like right now, Chris is calling me at like fucking 4:45 in the morning, and it sucks. Horse cocks. Really big ones too. You know those like thoroughbreds that run like the Preakness and stuff? Have you ever seen their equipment? It's huge.
I
That's
think
how
we've
bad it
derailed
sucks.
severely.
There you go. That's gonna help the YouTube algorithm. Anyway, yeah. So yeah, we should. I gotta take a screenshot of this, and we should say, "There is your." We gotta put this on the site somewhere, right? We're gonna call this. I think we're gonna call this. We're gonna call this Chris's B-Day present to the crypto world. You can. I suppose you can think of the glass as being half empty, or the glass as being half full. And I think that the glass is half full. I'll take that optimistic approach to this. So there's Chris's birthday present for you. Just having fun. Oh, God. Okay, I think I've done my rhetoric here. I've been blabbing away for a while. I'm literally going to finish this video and go right back to bed because I just feel like crap. I had to call and let the team know that I wasn't going to be able to do Liam today. I feel terrible about it, and I'm sure he's not happy at all. But the last thing we need is Brian out on the road puking up along on the side of the road. Oh, goodness. Okay, so maybe we'll just do some questions and send you guys on your way. Where do we? Some people may like that type of thing. Okay. Not sure if you considered that, Brian. We might be phase C. Oh, on that. Yeah, I mean, maybe that was a FU move down there. Could be. That's over here. You think that's where we are? I don't know. So the thing is that the seasonality trade works perfectly for this, where buy when it snows, sell when it goes. I know, like a nice little rally into the spring there, and then the Fed going and raising interest rates as much as they have. Believe it or not, like right now in the short term, there's going to be a crisis in the market. And if anything, this makes, and I was getting onto this earlier, but I got sidetracked. But I can see the next crisis that's going to be sort of dominating the conversation. You can already see it coming. And it is, well, I can't. Wow, my eyesight is terrible. So blurry. I don't see it here. So I'll do it over here. And I don't even know if there's even any headlines here, but I think there are. Anyway, there's supposed to be a big showdown in Washington over the sort of newly elected government and the debt limit debate. Of course, we all know how much everybody loves that guy, eh? Anyway, I don't know if this is the best page to show you or not, but I understand correctly, yeah, little old lady here is going to go to war with the right wing of the U.S. Congress. She says that the U.S. could hit its debt ceiling by as early as Thursday. And actually, I heard something really interesting. Can't remember how it goes. But another one of these crypto influencers, actually, I was pretty impressed with the article. And he said that, see if I can remember how the story goes. Said the US bond market fell apart here. So if we go, I guess 2022 is there. And of course, anybody who's followed me knows that I was very bearish of the bonds. But bonds got absolutely destroyed in 2022. And stocks got, I guess you could say destroyed, but not really that bad. But nonetheless, there's 2021, 2022. And here we are finishing 22. So stocks and bonds both got hit really hard. And this gentleman, I can't remember what his name is. And my apologies if anybody's a fan of him. Yeah, as soon as I say this, you'll probably remember it. But he was saying that that situation has only happened twice in the US's modern history. And here was 1931 to 1932, so right in there. So that window, and 1971, where the hell that is? Yeah, right here, 1970, 71. Oh, that interesting. So, okay, there's 71. Yeah, so I guess that's it. Whoops, not like that. Anyway, there to there. And he was saying that this only happened twice, and I can't show you the bonds going back then, but nonetheless, stocks down good 20%, bonds down 20%, and well, I don't know, 10, 20%, whatever. And interestingly enough, in these particular events, within like 6 to 8 months or something like that of those events, there was a major devaluation of the US dollar. It's kind of interesting. He made reference to FDR and the New Deal and all of that. And then Tricky Dick taking the Americans off the gold standard through here. Interesting how the stock market kind of, it actually bottomed in FDR's case right after that event. And in Tricky Dick's time period, kind of just went sideways, but then eventually took off. So I guess he was saying that since this has happened this go round, probably odds are we have to have some sort of major devaluation or something coming up here relatively soon. It's kind of a shame, but anyway, that is what it is. And then he said one other thing, and I can't remember how to correlate it, but he said that BTC USD, maybe we can do like an overlay. BTC USD. It said that Bitcoin itself just put in a golden cross. Well, I don't see that every day. Nah, this isn't gonna work. Darn. Yeah, I was hoping I could make this work, but oh well. So there's Bitcoin and golden crosses. Let's see. Something. Whoops. This one. And then we will go. Let's get rid of all these. There's a 50 and the 200. And we can get rid of this stuff here for now. There's that. And then we'll minimize this one. And we'll do that one. Huh. Oh, that's a weekly chart. That's weird. All right. Wow, that's weird. Have I got the moving averages correct here? Does that say 50? I think it says 50. And 200? Golden Death Cross? I don't know what the hell that guy was talking about. I don't see no golden cross here. Anybody know what the hell anybody know what I don't know what the guy's name is though. So anybody does that sound familiar? Did anybody of you guys watch YouTube videos? Maybe I need to well, there's no golden cross there, I can tell you that absolutely. So I do find that I don't see golden crosses happening this early in the move. Yeah, there's no golden cross here. I don't know what it was. Anyway, the guy was saying in 1931 and then in 1971, you had those events. And then for some reason, he had made some sort of correlation with Bitcoin and golden crosses now. But geez, I don't see anything like that. I don't know what the hell that was in reference to. Okay, well, I went off on a crazy tangent there. Obviously, completely irrelevant. You know what? I'm just going to blame that on the sickness. Oh, God, I feel like crap. If it ain't Scottish, it's crap. If it ain't Scottish, it's COVID. Okay, what was I supposed to be doing? Questions. I don't know why I went off. I just wasted everybody's time. Sorry about that. Anyway, I don't see any golden cross here on Bitcoin. I'm not quite sure why I went down that road. Okay, where I know we have a question and answer document. Oh goodness. I wonder which page I had it on. Well, let's try. Let's see, is it that one? Nope. Okay, is it that one? Nope. Is it that one? Oh, maybe. Oh, we got all this. Yeah, here we are. Nope. No. Can't see what's over there. Oh, there's the news panel. I did have that on there. Now I forgot what I was looking for. Oh, this thing is so bloody irritating. It drives you crazy. Okay, what was I? Oh yeah, the question and answer document. Where the hell did I put that? Oh, here. Is this it over here? Brian's signed out. What's this? Oh yeah, it is. Okay, I've been signed out of this, Chris, so I'm not quite sure how to get back in. What happens if I just wonder who I have to? Okay. All right. I got this. Okay. So a couple of people asked some questions. Keep in mind, school term is out right now. So I don't know whether I get in trouble if I play this. Anyway, thanks for the post, Sharky. Okay, so number one, hi Brian, with today's CPI print -1 month-to-month, I looked at some times in history with high inflation, natural 40s, 50s, and 70s come to mind. If we look at the chart, we can see that inflation can be very sticky and hard to get rid of once it gets going because it's all a fucking scam. Keep in mind that the banksters have to reinflate these economies about once every 80 years. Klaus even told you, ironically enough, Klaus even told the entire world the bankers scam. There's no such thing as inflation. What there is the Great Reset. That's exactly what's going on here, folks. It's not, there's this whole concept of inflation is nonsense, is garbage. The whole concept of we have to make sure that the size of the country's GDP is a multiple of the amount of debt that the government has outstanding, that is economics 101. And it's been consistent throughout the entire history of the banking culture. And keep in mind, this goes all the way back to JC and him getting pissed off at the money changers in the temple. So then nothing has changed here, folks. In thousands of years, it's always exactly the same story. So tragically, I don't want to sound rude, but you want to know what quote unquote inflation is? And I'm sure we probably have all these videos at length. But if you don't want to listen to me, listen to Mr. Milton Friedman. He explains it very succinctly and repeatedly and ad nausea. And if anything, the banking class has spent the past 20, 30 years trying to hush this guy up and trying to silence him. And of course, he's not with us anymore. So who takes up the torch? Because you don't make any friends, you don't influence anybody if you take up the stance that the 1% is out to fuck you. In fact, what ends up happening is the 1% goes out of its way to make sure your life is rather difficult. So this whole idea of inflation is actually just completely made up. This idea, I mean, like, this makes no sense. And I just don't get it. It's just baffling. Why is a substitute drama teacher, or I think that's what he is. Yeah, I don't even think he's an alumni. Well, anyway, who knows about that? But why is he given permission to go and float bazillions and gazillions and gazillions of new debt? And all these wonderful government spending programs and stuff. It's like every bloody week he's coming out with a new social program that, of course, totally speaks to like the woke generation. I think the latest program now is it's like a $500 billion, whatever. Hey, you know what? 10 years ago, this would have been more than all of Canada's GDP put together. But now it's a new substitute drama teacher government program. Well, where are you going to get the money to do this, sir? That doesn't matter. Shut that guy up. We're just going to keep printing more and more and more money. And it's just not ending. It's terrible what's going on here. How on earth would a substitute drama teacher be given permission to do this? He didn't even win a majority government in the last election. Not even a majority of Canadians endorse anything that this doofus does, which is just so insulting to a Canadian citizen. Who is allowing him to do this? Do you think you and I have any influence on whether we'll be able to absorb all this new government debt? No, there's only one institutional body that has the ability to either give this the green light or say, I'm sorry, sir, no dice. And, oh, by the way, You saw what happened to a head of lettuce in the UK when she was like, well, no way, let's just continue these government programs and let's cut more taxes for the rich and all that kind of stuff. And all of a sudden, those people that actually are driving the bus in our society said, nah, I don't think so. Your time is up. You have spent as much as you are going to get. So clearly the 1% has some sort of plan for my country. But the tragedy of it all is that this one image is a testament to the destruction of the standard of living of all Canadians. I mean, it's embarrassing. I went out for a burger the other day with a guy, and a burger, and I didn't even get to have a beer with the burger. I had a glass of ice water and a burger, and it was $20 for a piece of crap burger. And the worst part about it is the server's one of these, woke kind of guys. And of course, they're expecting like a 20% tip on top of that. So it's really like a $25 burger. I'm sorry, but I'm never going to shop at that place ever again. And it quite literally means that either A, because keep in mind, before the sickness, that burger would have been maybe $9-10, which I think would have been okay. I mean, I came from a world where these restaurants, some of them in the Lower Mainland that are charging these outlandish prices, they actually used to be billed, a generation ago as sort of the affordable family place to go and have a burger with your family. And I mean, $20 a burger, what does that mean? And back then, like the white spot deal was like, $5 for a burger and fries and whatever. I can understand that that's a bit on the cheap side, but quite literally $20 for a hamburger? I mean, come on. So the simple fact of the matter is that either I do not go out to dinner anymore, that just stops, or I have to double, triple the prices on all of you guys to make up the difference. And then I just go with the stream and say, oh, it's inflation. What are you going to do about it? Throw up your arms and just, I mean, the whole thing is it just stinks. So, I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, that's literally what probably has to happen, is that we just have to keep, sadly, there's nothing any of us can do about these banksters. I'd love to go into the US Congress and knock over some tables, just like JC did. But sadly, if anything, the story of the Bible is probably, if you fuck with the banksters and you upset their tables, you are going to be crucified. That wouldn't surprise me one bit in this world. And of course, that always helps with the YouTube monetization. But hey, look at that. We got Paul. Paul's such an awesome dude, man. He's always throwing us 50 rods. And Joshua, hey, you gave us a nice little tip. That's sweet of you. Way to go, dude. You guys are awesome. Anyway, I'm not quite sure how I got off on this tangent. It was with regard to the question. The easiest way, I think, quote unquote, the Great Reset. I've been telling people on the site recently, this is really good. There's one site in particular that I send people to, and the tragedy, people, is, you think we just went through inflation? Oh man, you ain't seen nothing yet. So I believe that the whole bankster fraud is about 80 years in duration. That's about the duration of the cycle. And I believe that the way that they covered up the Great Reset of the last generation, last century, was basically the Second World War. I do find it fascinating, of course, that Adolf Hitler was put into power in Germany at the behest of a lot of this banking class. And was actually endorsed by a lot of sort of U.S. Capitalist moguls, which of course everybody in the U.S. Don't talk about that. That's an ugly part of our history. We're peaches and cream. We're awesome. I did do find it fascinating that at the end of the Second World War, a lot of major, nasty German war criminals all of a sudden got jobs in the U.S. government. Well, that was convenient. So anyway, that's here and there. The point of this conversation is, if you believe that we basically repeat these cycles, then and the cycle duration is about 80 years, then whatever happened in 1940s is the equivalent of what's happening here in the 2020s. And of course, Vladdy going off there in Eastern Europe, interesting coincidence. But if we actually look at the inflation data, you notice that in early 1940s, inflation was fairly low. And then all of a sudden, mysteriously, 1941, look how the inflation rates really just jumped up out of nowhere. That looks awfully familiar. And what's worse about this, and everybody in society knows it, and it's almost laughable when I go on social media and I say the word hyperinflation, all of the government sort of people that, and university professors and crap go, well, look at current CPI numbers. These are not double digit. These are not 20 plus a year numbers. There's no such thing as hyperinflation going on right now. I personally believe that the CPI data that we are being spoon-fed here now is highly suspect. I mean, staggeringly suspect. And I might even argue, the best inflation, inflation proxy in the market is your Bitcoin. I mean, this thing's basically gone from nothing up to what, $15,000, $20,000 a coin. I mean, if that ain't inflation, I don't know what is. That thing's inflating. And considering that technically it's supposed to have a sort of algorithmic base to it, it should not be growing as fast as it is unless the value of the currency that it's being priced in is absolutely collapsing, which has been my argument all along. So anyway, point of the matter here is early 1940s, big whack of inflation. Then just as the same as we're going through now, oh, the Fed's on your side, the Fed's your friend. We're going to put the kibosh on inflation. We're going to make sure everything's tickety-boo and good for business and all that kind of stuff. And mysteriously see 43 inflation rates are falling. 44 inflation rates are falling, and they actually get it back to the point where, notice there's no negatives here. It's not like we are ever going back to that old world. The $5 burger that Brian wants to pay for a burger, that's never going to happen again. If anything, maybe if we're lucky, we can get back down to the $10 burger, but I doubt it. My hunch is that restaurant, probably that's the new normal. $20 for a piece of shit burger is the normal. And this is Canadian funny money. So Canada technically is a bankrupt nation anyway. So it doesn't surprise me that the value of goods and services in our society, the quote unquote prices of them, are going up, not because the product itself is any different, is the fact that substitute drama teachers are completely destroying the intrinsic value of our currency. Thank you very much, substitute drama teachers. And the worst part about it is there's no accountability for this. Why? There's no way at all to hold this jerk accountable. None whatsoever. It's kind of pathetic. Anyway, the point of the matter here is all of a sudden, mysteriously, you see, we sort of get into this friendly window, and then 1945, notice, in that sort of 2% Fed window, but then all of a sudden 46, and then look at this, the middle of 1946, it literally triples out of nowhere. And then it's just going gangbusters, 11, 12, 14, 17, 19%, 19. In fact, probably the only reason why they didn't print double or 20% was because that would have just freaked the public out. So unfortunately, I mean, glass half empty, glass half full. We are right now right here. So if you think about it, the government is currently reporting inflation probably about half of what it really is. So you see 4 or 5%. That's about half of what these numbers are. I mean, we'll probably see through 2023 the numbers, start to work their way back down to like 3-4%, and then all the way down, if we're lucky, through 2024. Of course, this Bitcoin halving event window, we actually hit that trough, and that's this sort of middle of 2023. You can see that the inflation rates really start dropping off here. And I actually think that this is where the Fed will actually stop their relentless interest rate increases, which is a bit dangerous, right? Because right now we're in February, which is over here. And I think everybody has sort of figured that the Fed is done raising rates, and I don't think they are. But we'll see. Point here is, I think by the time we get to the middle of the year, that's when we'll probably start to see inflation really fall off. And if anything, what I'd like to see is I actually like to see the US Fed funds actually higher than the CPI rate. So that will sort of set the stage. Hopefully you can see that as soon as the inflation rates actually start falling in earnest, and I think most importantly here, you can see 7, 6, 4, 5, 4, 3, 2. So that's near the end of 2023. That's when you actually start to see sort of our wicked bases come in risk assets, and they start to go crazy. And of course, we've always said, you should really start buying your Bitcoins about 6 months prior to the halving event. And notice that that's basically the absolute sort of, there's the halving event right there, sort of June, July, right? Or actually, I think it's May, June. Somewhere in that area is the halving event. So that means you should actually start buying your Bitcoins in earnest right when this inflation rate starts to break in earnest. And I wouldn't be surprised if the reason why inflation breaks in earnest through here is because the Fed has taken interest rates up into sort of the middle of 23 this go round, and then something actually breaks. Does China break? Does Russia break? Does Canada break? I mean, the irony of it all is I think Canada, in a weird sort of way, is basically owned and controlled by the Rothschilds. So I don't think they have any intention of making their significant investment break. But could maybe a South or Central American country break? It wouldn't surprise me. But the point is, something's going to break that's going to cause the Fed to go, all right, we can stop raising interest rates. I think also, too, we have sort of, in a weird sort of way, we actually have, we actually have a, we have a tell. The only question is, where the hell, what page is it? So many windows. Our tell is, Monsieur Benir Cycle. Hello. All right. Yeah, Julian's talking to us. So, Mr. Benner would suggest that we should be looking for some sort of trough in 23. And that rally exhausts itself into 26. So if we go back to that, what the hell it is, inflation number, notice 1946, we were doing okay, right? We're doing okay, doing okay. Through 45, right? Relatively okay. And then 46, like I said, June, July, halfway through that year, boom, all hell breaks loose. Now, the interesting thing is the market's usually a bit slow. So you might find that the inflation rates start to jump back up, but it doesn't really hit the market too hard. And then sort of as we get closer to the end of the year, look at this, we're already up at 18%. Look at that jump from 3% in June up to 18% by the end of December. Wow. So unfortunately, I think this is your number one reason why there's a gentleman on the site, Cool, who follows the celestial events. And he says there's a whole bunch of nasty celestial events that all happen around 2027. And right through the end of the decade, this is going to be a bit of a challenging time period. And it might be, very simply put, it might be that this is when the world just stops. They just can't take any more debt from these governments. And the bond market just absolutely collapses. And interest rates they just go through the roof. And there is Klaus's big ass ugly great reset. And I suppose the good thing about this, and this is what I've been telling everybody and their brother, and every single one of you on YouTube. Oh, isn't that interesting? So YouTube just kicked me out of there. Huh. Chris, do you show that it's still working? God, look at all this shit. Cocksuckers. Yeah. By me logging into that Q&A document page, they killed me on YouTube. No, now it says this. Isn't that awful? Bastards. Always like to see how that video is going. So just give me a second, see if I can try and figure this out. I'm not even in this. I load up, look at this. It's completely gone. They do not even want me using this. I mean, I've used this page now forever. Isn't that incredible? Yeah, I know. But the point is that I've used this TRI video page forever, and it doesn't even have it on my list anymore. It's like I don't even exist to them anymore. So frustrating. And obviously they didn't like all my rhetoric here. Hope you guys are enjoying my rhetoric. Gotta love those substitute drama teachers. All right, looks like I got back on here. Sorry, everybody. I just like to keep an eye on how this is going while I'm talking. And it's surprising that that chat room still works. You're still on YouTube is good. All right, oh, that's good. All right, there it is. Wow, they make this so difficult. Okay, there we are. Okay, so, what I've said to everybody, and I say this to all of you, seriously, you got to work your butts off over the next few years here. I think, hell, you saw the way that artificial intelligence crypto stories took off here. And I'm already starting to see people banging out doubles on the site. So you can already see that this cycle has already started to happen. And my warning to you is you've got to work your butt off here over the next 3 or 4 years. You got to make as much money as you possibly can. Go and buy big, fat, hard assets. Because if you wait until 2027, it might be too long. You might actually find that a huge chunk of the money that you made, any money that did made, if you kept it in cash, it literally devalues by like a quarter. $20 burger. Maybe that $20 burger turns into a $40 burger. Could very easily see that happen. It's really quite tragic, really. So, my warning to all of you is don't let this rally window slip through your fingers. You have to be an institutional player here. That means you got to step up. I mean, that's a lot of pressure just to say, like, if I just walked into a shopping mall and started to explain this to people and said, you got to get your shit together now. And you got to go and make a pile of money. And if you're investing and you're speculating, you got to do it now. Well, when you start talking like that, of course, you're setting people up for horrible failure because they're going to be so anxiety ridden. They're going to be like, okay, but what do I do? What do I do? What do I do? I mean, it sounds awful because it's just going to be a horrible shill. But what you do is you get yourself educated so that when when the market affords you the opportunity to get long and you're like, okay, well, where am I going to do this? Why am I going to do this? What's my goal? Okay, what's my objective? What kind of trades? What is the criteria that I need to see for me to actually pull the trigger? What amount of risk am I going to take relative to the amount of money that I'm working with? Based on the risk taker that I am, what kind of risk management strategy am I going to use? Do I just buy something and just forget about it? Or do I just, do I go hard leverage and work stops? Okay, well, what kind of risk management do I have to, blah, 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 blah. You got to do it. And I tell you, the only place I've seen on the internet that actually does this, I see lots of guys who say, hey, check out my squiggly line theory. It's awesome. This is the best indicator ever. I mean, you want that shill? I could give you that shill. This damn crypto algo that we built in the stock market, I think I showed you guys before, but the numbers are just startling. Actually, I don't think this is this page though, is it? No. Do we have the link to that promotional thing we did for the dashboard? There's a really cool page. Julian went through all the numbers. I mean, they're just ridiculous. And I got to say, this algo has me long. I'm up 20, 30% on this. There's just this one trade. Do I see some back and forth over the year where I'm probably going to be selling my Bitcoins up top here and then buying the back lower and up and down and up and down? Probably do this 3 or 4 times. Yeah, I do. But I'm not, I don't want to, that is just one message. The school is more teaching you how do you build a small business of trading that you actually expect your business to turn a profit. Like I said, I haven't seen anybody on the internet who do this. Get off your butt and do this now. You just literally, you got to get your crap together because I'm fearful that our whole society is going to go through another massive devaluation here. And if you wait, right, number one, this is the only business when stuff goes on sale, nobody wants to buy. Stuff is on sale. The Fed is doing its job. Oh, look at that. We've already lost the 20,000 handle. Oh, isn't that interesting? What's this one? These are the futures. This is the only business when stuff goes on sale, nobody wants to buy. And I would argue that if you can look at this from a longer perspective, stuff is on sale right now. The only problem is that it's getting expensive already. And I don't know whether I'd really want to chase something like this, but if you want to wait for a Wyckoff check of these highs, draw out your reload zones, yada, 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 then I think that's probably a good course of action. But you got to do it now. And I'll tell you, I mean, gee whiz, Bitcoin, I don't know whether Bitcoin goes 100x. 100x on Bitcoin, probably not realistic. But I'll tell you, there are names out there. I think I showed you this earlier. Could a name like Zugi's FXS, could this go to like $100 by the end of this cycle? I actually think, yeah, it would not be surprising to see names like this. Look at that damn chart. Oh my goodness. You know, we always say, or we always used to say, the longer the channel, the bigger the run. And actually, you should be able to take this distance and then just tilt that up, and that will give you the price objective up there. That's 5x right there. But I wouldn't be surprised if a name like this is actually just the basing of the base. And I don't even know if this is all the price of data. But at the end of this sort of, 25, 26 bull run, if Zugi's thoughts about the usability of this and how it's going to reinvent the wheel and all that kind of fun stuff, I wouldn't be surprised if this silly thing is up around $300-400, which is basically was 100x from where we bought it. That's not unrealistic, in my opinion, whatsoever. But you got to get yourself into position now. And if you don't know what you're doing, go and find somebody out there on the interneting that actually has a half decent reputation of trying to teach you the right things without giving you some horrible shill. And we do it in a really friendly, very slow manner. Hell, our Wednesday crypto show co-host, he's only taken the level 1 course. He trades very few, very selective setups. He seems to be doing very well. So what the hell? Just get off your butts and just get to work. In fact, the person who won the contest recently, the raffle, that was my comment. Way to go on winning the raffle. Now get off your ass and get to work. And set yourself up so that this coming bull cycle, you're in here banging out these 100x's, and you can go buy your island and kiss this whole nonsense bankster corrupt world goodbye. In fact, what we as a group want to do, and we thought about throwing a bunch of capital at buying a piece of property now. I think about a month or two ago, we kind of agreed that since crypto is heading into sort of its face rip mode, that we were going to take that capital, invest it in crypto, go like 10x, 100x that capital, and then we can go buy the property with a song and a dance. But anyway, we'll see how it goes. Slow and steady wins the race. Anyway, what I would just simply say is you have to act now. The time for you to be sort of lollygagging, and when the crypto, this idiot fucking asshole. I mean, this stuff makes me so angry. When this guy was up here going, oh yeah, I'm so awesome, I'm the great. You have to understand that is a exiting window. And he's done this on a number of occasions. I saw him do it on PayPal. And I went, okay, it's not that big of a deal, right? Actually, I don't even know if this is even a traded stock anymore. Oh, yeah, there it is. Might have been through this. I can't remember exactly when he dumped. I think he dumped over here. But yeah, this is since the takeover. But I saw him do it on PayPal when he sold it a while ago. Then, of course, I saw him do it in spades on this Doge. I couldn't believe when I saw this. And also, too, just the complete lack of moral fiber. Where he didn't say one word of, don't go and buy this up here. You are going to be punished if you do. And then finally, he's just done it again. So, I mean, it's irreprehensible as far as I'm concerned, but I'm a weirdo. I don't know whether I have morals or, I don't live in a big fancy mansion. I don't drive a big fancy car. You all know my story. It's basically a story about JoJo. She asked me to try and help all you guys out. And literally since I had that dream of her visit, that I've lived my entire life based on that. Now look at me. I mean, I should be in bed right now, but I love talking to you guys. I love the market's a buy now, and now's when you gotta have your shit together that you're ready to do this. I mean, this is the time when you want to participate. I mean, obviously, you can't buy that now. Cool part about it is you can see exactly where I'm long from. Woohoo! If you're interested in this kind of trading, buy my dashboard, right? But I'm not shilling you the dashboard today. What I'm shilling you is just get your shit together so that through this bull market, you can change your life. And it doesn't take a lot of work. I mean, the interesting thing is this is exactly, well, I don't know whether it's exactly the same, but it's very, very similar because you see the way that these AI coins are popping off. You might argue that these AI coins, right? And you can see them. I mean, it's not huge rallies, but nonetheless, banging out doubles and all that kind of stuff. I mean, there's the W's, and this guy, double is still up top there, but you can see W, big pop. There's a few of these names that have been running up. I don't know whether that's a real W or not. You know, if anything, this is a really good example of little old lady kind of stuff. You know, I've loved RLC. In fact, actually, what's kind of interesting is I did a video with Da Vinci, who's sort of a social influencer in this space a while ago. And that was this. And my one pick in that video, and that was back in 2018, 19, something like that. My one pick was this name. I love this name. Look at that. I mean, you can see the W just getting ready to go here. Is this thing got any room to move up? I mean, look at that. That's ridiculous. Could you get a double off here? A double is just to move back to this $3 area. Is that realistic here? Believe it or not, actually, I think it is. This now reminds me, they call it like AI and all that, right? But this reminds me of, remember when the pot coins, and man, we made a lot of money in those pot coins. So you can see that the bull is starting to rear its ugly head again. Look at that one. That one's a cool looking one. And really, you know what this is? This is, like I said, I'd say it's like it's about 70, 80% similar. But basically it's this opportunity now is this. This particular, in 2014, so think 2022, I took like $500 because Bitcoin was like 400 and change then. And we ramped it up to like 30, 40 Bitcoin at the top of the market. And I only posted this because the challenge was, Brian, could you take $500 and turn it into 100 G's? This actually went up to like 700-800 grand. I mean, it's ridiculous. So the point here is that we are back into one of these windows. Who wants to do this with me? I've got an account over on Binance, and like I said, I've already, you know, on the little, you know, it was funny to watch how the FTX crooks and that bald Canadian guy who's got the little beady eyes. Oh, that guy's so fucking evil. I hate that guy. I think that they tried to break Binance there, and keep in mind, I don't think that they're done. They will try and break Binance again, I think. But anyway, point being that I've got an account over at Binance, and basically everything that I bark at you guys, I'm doing, and I will do exactly the same thing. Although this time it's not going to be 500, it will be 5,000 into whatever. And I think, you know, pick your favorite cryptos. Maybe get a list of them going, and then just every time they double, sell half. In fact, probably a good idea nowadays because Big Brother is so involved. Probably a good idea, like on a name like this, if you could come in at the bottom here Maybe even do something like, let's say you bought this W, although it's not really the best looking W, but let's say you bought that. So that's 56. I think you're gonna want to get, at least $1.10. I might even like say, let's throw an order out there at like maybe $1.30, $1.40. If you do get that fill, and that's basically coming into these wicks, it's not outlandish. You might even just draw a simple trend line, something like that, up into this area. Take the portion that's above the double and put that into a money market fund. Why? Because that's who, mafia, bankster, crooks, and their taxes. So just do that, put the money aside so that you can pay the tax bill. So in essence, maybe we're not going to be selling half on a double. Maybe we're going to be selling half on a 2 point, and usually it works out nicely. Think 2.618. And in a weird sort of way, I actually think that's half the reason why 2.618 works the way that it does. Is you take your 1, that's your profit, and the 618 is for the tax man. I don't know. Here's what it is. So the point here is you got to build the plan. You got to get to work, got to get off your butt. Now is the time. I mean, just this Doge is probably the absolute perfect example of this. Is Alan going out there and telling the world, Doge actually is not a bad investment decision right now. I don't hear anybody saying anything, but there is the weekly W level. It's sitting right there. Here's probably a good example where, oh yeah, look at that. That's cool. I love when I see that. So 2.618s were hit. This breakout was at, oh God, I can't even read that. 8. So probably look to sell at 4.669. Maybe sell half on a double if you will. Then you've got some money for the tax man. 8 to 16 is your double. Any kind of pop up here, the rest of that's for the tax man. And then just ride the rest. And I have a feeling by the time we actually get to 2025, 2026, you want to see something really freaky? I would not be surprised if this jerk's coin is actually up there. That would not surprise me one bit. So, point here, I think, is you can look at this. You know what this is in real simplest terms is how do you read this statement? There's no wrong way to read that statement. No wrong way at all. But how you read this statement is definitely going to be dictate how you look at a name like this. And then, of course, if you do happen to get the pops up to 4.669s, well, there's no reason why you can't take those free money, the original investment capital, and just go look to buy it all back in reload Jones. Do you think they're going to come back and check this level repeatedly over the next year or two? I definitely think so. So, all right. I guess what's interesting is I haven't really talked markets over the past day or two. I've been feeling so crappy, but as soon as I start talking markets and stuff, oh man, I just get off on a tangent. So I don't know whether that helps you understand what I'm thinking of with regard to inflation, deflation, but I think I gave you my whole spiel there. We have very violent swings with 100% moves both ways. Well, you just saw we had is that inflation or is, notice how they never talk about deflation. And that's the one thing that is actually supposed to happen that keeps the whole system running is, the Newton's law of gravity, right? What goes up must come down. And if anything, you have to kind of ask yourself, how on earth did they pull off this Dow Jones Industrial Average the way that it has acted over the past, hundreds of years or whatever, or I guess 100 years. How on earth did they do this? Keep in mind that the U.S. Federal Reserve Board took over the United States of America. And literally they did. That's the only way you can describe it. They literally took over the society right here. So it's interesting how they ran the market up and then crashed it, and then notice, look at where the bottom came in. Oh, exactly where they took over the society. So it wasn't like the banksters were going to lose any money. They didn't lose any money through any of that shit. So then the question ultimately is okay, they literally officially took over society here. And then you have this crazy nonsense. Now, how the hell does this happen? I thought you said, Brian, what goes up must come down. This is what's supposed to happen. This is nature. Then you get into this craziness. What the hell is going on here? And this is the banksters diluting the currency. You guys have heard repeatedly, there's a guy on social media that goes, what happened in 1971? And you look at the prices of everything have gone just absolutely skyrocketing higher. Well, it's not that the prices of those assets are any better. It's they sacrificed this currency to make sure that this wouldn't come back down the way it's supposed to. You had one way up, and then, oh no, we're not going to allow that to happen. Up you go. Well, I'm sick right now, Waleed, and watch the beginning of the video. I don't want to give you guys COVID, all right? And I'm trying to be courteous. I don't know if it's COVID. You know what I noticed? Look at Mana taking off here. I couldn't believe it. I was like, oh, fucking hell. God damn son of a bitch. Look at that move, bastards. Straight up. Look at that. That's a tough one. I hate when they do that. It's almost impossible to get in on that thing. Sure was down the bottom end of the range though, eh? Jesus, all the people that could step in here, they've already got a double off. All right, just finished level 1, learned a lot. Level 2, we'll have to wait a little. A lot going on in the personal side, all right? I recommend everyone watching this that wants to learn the proper way of trading and investing to apply for the school. Oh, okay, cool. Thanks for the endorsement. Who is this? I'm going to endorse the school, but there you are. Branko. Hello, Branko. All right. I recommend everyone watching this that wants. Oh, yeah. Then it's Brian and Grim are great teachers, and you will be in great hands for the success in the markets. All right. Well, thanks, sir. Appreciate it. United States inflation rate year over year on a monthly basis. I would be really surprised. What is this? What year is that? Oh, 1951. Okay. 1950s. I wouldn't keep in mind that this and where you got it here started 1933. Yeah. So you could argue that here is that first inflationary push. Here is the second inflationary push. But I mean, this is like 20%. Remember we talked about that earlier, right? Minus 2%. I mean, if all things are equal, shouldn't this go to minus 20% to take back all this bullshit and to take back all this bullshit? This is a year over year inflation rate. So does it not make sense? They've bid prices up. They've bid prices up. They've bid prices up. Look at these numbers, huge numbers. But the pullbacks, to zero. That doesn't mean prices are going back down. All that means is prices didn't go up more that particular reporting period. Fuck you. And then, we're so generous. You know what? Let's throw them a bone. We've taken the price of that burger from $5 to $30. Well, actually, $5 to $10. Then, we'll give them a bit of a break. We'll bring it back down to $8 or $9. Then $8 or $9 to $20. We're not going to give you any break at all here. There will be no revision in the price. It goes to zero. So that means year over year, it stays at $20, $20, $20, $20. And then, hey, let's take it up to $40, right? And then, okay, let's throw them a bone. And, let's bring the prices down to $38. Ooh, hey, that's a 5% discount. Fucking A, I'm feeling so good. But we're never going back to $5. Does that make sense? If you can think about it that way, then this information, it actually is a clear tell. And that, as I said earlier, remember, and there is no such thing as inflation. Inflation's bullshit. It's the amount of money that's in the money supply that dictates the prices of goods. And if the governments just keep printing more and more and more money, then the price of gold says, well, look at, I'm an ounce of gold. If you're going to keep, printing more money, then the value of me and being the ounce of gold, well, the price has got to go up. And it's nothing more than that. It's just that simple. Remember, I showed you earlier, substitute drama teachers and the M2 money supply in my country. I think actually you could make the argument that the reason why the CPI in the States is calming down, and keep in mind that the CPI in my country is still horrible, but the CPI here in the States is coming down, is because the Feds have actually, believe it or not, tried to reduce the money supply. But let's put that into perspective. When you say reduce the money supply, are they really reducing the money supply? Or is it just sort of a token offering to make it look like we're reducing the money supply? I mean, look at that image. Come on. What an absolute joke. I mean, I started working in the stock market right here. So you're trying to tell me that in my lifetime, just working in the stock market, the economy has grown tenfold? No. I first started working in the stock market, Subway sandwich was $2. Now Subway sandwich is $10, $15. It's probably going to top out at $20 because remember, I'm over in Canada and substitute drama teachers, they're not even doing this. Substitute drama teachers, this is still making new highs. I mean, I gotta say, man, this is borderline criminal what these people are doing. They are literally destroying people's lives. And the worst part about it is this guy never even had a mandate. Didn't even have a majority government. I could understand that if he said, look, the majority of Canadians have voted for my policies, so the majority of Canadians are going to get what I endorse. But he did not even win a goddamn majority. He's a minority leader, and he's completely blown up our society. Yeah. It's sad. And I mean, you listen to Beamish rant on endlessly. Well, yeah. So this is current. Yeah. So I mean, here is Brian's burger, right? Going zipping up. And this is the United States. If anything, you're doing a hell of a lot better than Canada. Canada, it's a nightmare. If anything, this pullback here right now is the Fed actually reducing the amount of money in the economy. That's that movement right there, right? If we change this to a log scale, well, then it works worse. But if you look at your inflation guide, notice there is the peak in the money supply. That was last March. And then we go back to your document. And we see, I can't really see, but you can see that this basically, there is March right in there, I think, right near the beginning of 2022. So what is inflation all about? Inflation is all about the amount of money sloshing around the system. Don't kid yourself. This is the inflation, nothing else. And anything else they tell you, it's a load of horse shit. All right. So it isn't, you're lucky. I mean, like I said, in my country, there is no slowdown. Every time I go to the grocery store, prices are always higher. I got like my son likes McDonald's. I think it's absolute garbage and it's stupidly overpriced garbage now. And every time I go there, it's like the price is a little bit higher. The price is a little bit higher. The price is a little bit higher. It's ridiculous. And the worst part about it, right, is the banksters have so programmed uneducated idiots in our high school. And keep in mind, most people in our society don't go to university. So anybody who works in a fast food restaurant, they're in university, and for God's sakes, finish that damn university program. But even the university professors, they're programmed. It's remarkable to look how thick the textbooks are trying to explain inflation, and it never works. The equations just don't work. So what's going to happen if you talk to some little bimbo that's working the McDonald's fast food restaurant? Check out. I mean, a lot of them are coming to our country and they don't even have high school educations. They're even less than that. It's terrible. And a bimbo can be both a male and a female, by the way. Doesn't necessarily have to be just a female. Anyway. Okay, I took the level 1 course, and even though I'm learning to use the various tools and indicators, I'm still confused about time frames. I don't understand which time frame I'm supposed to be looking at when doing my technical analysis. I'll always start at the highest time frame and work down. So that should make that answer very, very easy. Can you please explain when to use a weekly, daily, 4-hour? Where do I start? So number one, you always start at the weekly time frame. So if you are an investor and you see substitute, no, can't use that. Trying to think, how can we morph substitute drama teachers and gentlemen who are trying to explain their horrible moral behavior through an excuse like ASD? What's the combination of that? But very simply put, if this guy had even an ounce of moral fiber in his soul, he would have unequivocally said when he was on Saturday Night Live, do I have to make this any more clear to you people? Do not buy. I mean, just as simple as that. But did he? No. Peter Brandt. Oh, yeah, that makes sense. Peter's a pretty good sort of slow and steady kind of investor. Of course, the crypto kids hate him. You're buying an overvalued asset. Oh, shut up, man. This time it's different. Anyway. Oh, Jesus. I got to whine. Oh, look at that. It's already 1:15. Ironically enough, I'd actually be ending the show now because I'd be wanting to go off to Liam. But how the hell am I still talking? Anyway, so the point here is, I mean, let's use Doge as an example. Always start at the highest time frame in that weekly price chart. Now, if we were, let's do the Wayback Machine, right? We hit it right there. What's the very first thing that you learned at TRI? Well, what I would say is, what's the very first thing that we try to teach you is the most important thing you want to consider if you're considering, I should have 2 masks on. If you're going to buy something, starts with an L. Everybody should know what the hell this is. Thank you, TBG. See now, are you guys asking over here? Very first thing you want to learn is location. I teach you guys in the level 1 program one location tool that's pretty consistent. That is this concept called the reload zone. So if we're banging around up top here, and of course this particular week, this is after price was just up top here and coming screaming down. I mean, that's the very first thing that you learn is that, you know, I should probably wait for some sort of bottom in this area here. Very first thing. This is a weekly price chart. We can do Bitcoin, same thing. So there is the Bitcoin chart. There is reload zones. Yeah, we'll just go off of that. Oh, and here we are up top. Am I allowed to come in and buy that market there? Start at the weekly price chart. The answer is no. So the question next becomes, what type of investor are you? If you are a swing trader, you can handle getting stopped out. You can manage your behavior. I don't mind you thinking about things like, and again, I don't know, is he here? I don't know whether I'm allowed to use your name on this, but I like to make people famous. That's why I always use their names. But we'll call it the pump chaser zone. So you can see in this particular case, hey, look at that. We came down into the pump chaser zone. And so can I start hunting things like W's in this zone? And you notice there was a pretty good little swing trade here, right off of that level there, right? Down, up, down, breakout. Now, if you bought this W and it broke these lows, well, you better get the hell out of there. So you can't be like a little old lady trading Collins pump chaser zone. It's not doable, because you might see that this thing breaks these lows and has to go all the way down here, and you're trapped long up top here. And of course, we know in hindsight exactly what happened. So this was a good scenario where the swing trade idea worked pretty well. But we know that the next go round, it didn't work. And so this is why, if you're going to use something like a Collins pump chaser zone, you better be able to manage your behavior. Because in this particular case, you can see it W'd. It broke out even above the pump chaser zone. So I don't like that. But it broke out and boom, you better been stopped out. Because if you didn't get stopped out here, you're now sitting massively underwater. And, you know, something like this, if this was a leverage trade, it might even bankrupt you. So it really all depends on what type of risk taker you are. And of course, that clearly is outlined in your trading plan. So if you outlined in your trading plan that you are a swing trader, then at this point here, you could very easily go down to the daily time frame and say, all right, I'm going to start hunting setups down in here. And notice, actually, this is a pretty good example. This is kind of like the sushi recently, where you had a nice W come in. Buy signal was issued here. Stop is below that low there, right below the W, down, up, down, breakout. You're long from here and you're dying 1,000 deaths. Oh my God, oh, this sucks. Oh, this is horrible. But notice it never went through that low. So you never got stopped out. Then all of a sudden comes roaring back, and in what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 days, you're now looking like the man again. So again, it's just really a question of what type of trader you are, what type of risk taker you are. Little old ladies, they got no business playing in this kind of environment. And if this level here it got taken out, you better get the out of there. You got no choice. Now, you could, hey, Brian, I'm a margin trader. All right, well, let's go down to the 4-hour chart. And now, off of the 4-hour chart, and I'm a badass margin trader, look at me. I identify this range. So I kind of know where the retail is buying. You know, this would be classic Joe 6-pack kind of trade. But I'm a super slick trader. So I'm now down on the lower time frames, and I'm hunting same kind of concept. There's the top end of the range. There's the bottom end of the range. I could be hunting pump chaser zone. I think probably it would be smart on this level to be hunting reload zones. Now, you know, this double bottom here comes in at about 50% of the range. Meh. I mean, you could have just bought Mountain Man level. That's what Paul does a lot of the time. He just goes in here and says, screw it, I'll risk against the bottom. I think you could have said, you know, candle body lows for trade location. You know, Brian loves that 78.6. Seeing this dump, what letter of the alphabet came in here? Damn difficult. I'm not going to say it's easy, but now you fancy yourself, Mr. I'm an awesome margin trader dude, and I've got this killer level. Now, can I just see some sort of market structure to get me in off of that level? Right, that was right here. And look at that W. Wow, look at this. This is sick. So Mr. Margin Trader, remember, there's that original bottom, right? There's the low that, you know, the slowpoke investors and stuff are going to be trading against. They're working their stops here. Look at this now. There's Brian's 78.6. So that punk ass bitch is long from here. And look at me. I could come zipping in and look at that W. So this is how we went from, I've got a half decent level on the weekly price charts. I think that's where this was, right? Yeah. This was Collins Pump Chaser Zone. I could drill down to like the daily chart. Remember, I've got to be like Joe 6-pack. I can't be a little old lady here. So maybe I'm Joe 6-pack and I'm just going to buy this and I'll risk that whole W, which is that's 36 and that's down to 28. So I'm going to be risking $8,000 on 36 is about 4% risk, 5% risk, somewhere in that area, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But then I'm Mr. Slick lower time frame trader. and I want to like margin trade or something, well, then that means I got to drill down to these lower time frames. And then, as we said there a moment ago, you're like, okay, I draw my reload zone. I got my candle body lows. Okay, give me some sort of W down against these lows, and then I'll get in. And in this particular case, I think you had to drill down to like an hour, 2 hour chart kind of idea. That's what that 81 minutes is. That's kind of just funny Tesla chart time frames that I'm working with there. And you get this absolutely killer trade that if you went 100x long off of this W, now we're down off the lower time frames, you got yourself one hell of a trade. So I hope that explains how I go from a higher time frame. In this particular case, this was Collins pump chaser zone. And then I drilled down, I pulled up a nice reload zone off of this. If anything, add, even better, do I have bullish divergence that's developing anywhere along here that tells me that this asset's actually stronger than what price would lead you to believe? Not so much. If anything, and actually I like this. It's good that we actually make reference to this in this. We used to have a gentleman on the site. We actually named this setup after him, but I actually like another site member renamed this the Golden Stakes, golden plated stakes. I don't know, gold plated stake setup, and I like that. You got a nice W on OBV, a nice W in RSI, nice W in Willie. Not a bad looking W in MACD, but quite often gold plated stake setup, it doesn't have a MACD double bottom, but if anything, seeing this beautiful base on OBV, that's beautiful. And when I see that with the RSI going through the moving average there, 50 period of the Bollinger Band, oh my God, that's awesome. And then look at that W there in OBV or in Willie. So, there is your lower time frame, high octane margin trader trade. Golden stakes for the win. That's a golden stakes trade, my friends. And if you can figure out how to do this, you can build a plan that gets you hunting like that exactly the way that I showed you. Whoever asked this question, that's what I want you to do. So start off at the higher time frame, find trade location. That will dictate what type of risk taker you are. Then drill down to lower time frame, throw on things like reload zones, identify bottoms and tops, ends, and ranges. You can maybe take Joe's six-pack trade setups off of that, but understanding what type of risk taker you are based on the higher time frame trade setup, higher time frame trade location. And then if you want to like really drill in and find those killer trades that are going to make you a fortune, Mr. Margin Trader, then you're zooming down to the lower time frames and hunting those W's in reload zones off of like hour, 2 hour charts. So hope that helps. Yeah, but see, that's the thing, JD, is I get all worked up and I get all excited by this. Actually, I forget about my sickness. So how ironic. Problem is, I know the moment I stand up, I'm going to be like, oh, Jesus, get me a bucket. Okay, so whoever asked this question, I hope that helped answer that. Okay, let's do a quick peruse of the YouTube page. Thank you very much for donations from our regular OGers. Eddie gave us a donation. Hey, he's given us a donation. Is that in pounds? Not interesting. Eddie always donates in pounds. We got 50 Rons from Paul. That's cool. And we got $2 from Joshua. He's a cheap ass. Just kidding. You're awesome. You guys are all awesome. Eddie donates in vodkas. Do you know how heavy vodkas are? Jesus, if anything isn't British pounds, that's heads of lettuce, isn't it? Oh, Jesus. I feel like I'm going to be sick. Breathe. Okay. All right, so we finished those questions. Now let's because everybody told me I got to go. Oh, I see. Well, that makes sense. Well, you answer the question. Okay, so let's just quickly go through YouTube, see if there are any questions there. All right. You appreciate my gesture of Constantine. Antivirals. All right, thank you, MM. Wouldn't that be funny if I came on one day with one of those funny Twitter these masks? That would be funny. Yeah. Oh, yeah, Stuart. Oh, thanks, Stuart. Actually, Stuart without the T. So Stuart. I got to tell you, this breadth indicator that we built is just next level. It is just so cool. Only problem is, what do you do when it just sits both 100? I don't think the market could go much higher. I think we might run out of steam here. I do find it interesting that this is looming here in the next few days. I wouldn't be surprised if there's a big punch in the nose in the stock market here over the next few days. The only question here I would have with that is that we do have a leaps expiry on the 20th. So and actually this makes sense too, because if I'm not mistaken, I think that I think Wall Street would actually like to see the stock market come down a little bit. Wow. So if we go 20th, that's the big monthly. Oh, geez. Keep it down. Keep it down. Look at all these calls, eh? Oh my goodness. So if anything, they got to get those calls out of the money. These calls, they're going to expire out of the money. Where are we right now? 398.50. Yeah. So if they knock the market down 10 points here with all this sort of phony baloney, Janet Yellen bullshit, it's all fucking theatrics. But really, the point here is they got to get the market down below that call there. That's a lot of calls that they're going to have to pay out on. On the put side, interesting. So as long as the market is above 390, then Wall Street's happy, right? Market right now is 398. So all of these puts, actually all of these puts right now have intrinsic value. I think that what they would probably prefer that all of these puts expire worthless as well. But no, I'm getting that wrong. Beg your pardon. These puts have value. So I think probably they probably don't want the market to go out above, no, below. Well, that's a tough one, because 400, 395, and 390, but 390 I think is the anchor. And it actually might be interesting just to look out on that entire, I'll go 50. Okay, let's see what we got here. So 100, there's another big 100, 380s, 100 at 390. So interesting how we only have 52 down here. 385s. Oh, look at that. 375. There's 122. 121 at 370. Actually, it looks like those are the biggest strikes. I don't think they'll bring the market all the way down there. But they're not going to feel too much pain. But as of 390, that's when they'll probably start feeling some pain. So I doubt they take it lower than 390. That would imply that these expire in the money though. So I don't know whether we see that or not. We might just see that they just park this thing sideways here. Anyway, maybe Bitcoin just goes sideways here. That wouldn't surprise me. Regardless, this is getting a little, I mean, it just can't go up anymore. So we could go through a period where we just go sideways for a little while. That wouldn't surprise me. But I wouldn't be surprised if I'm publicly announcing that I sold my long positions in Bitcoin here fairly soon. Don't be surprised about that. But yeah, that breadth is totally awesome. Eh, Jordan? Tuesday to Saturday, eh? So it was really weird, eh? But now you're feeling a little bit better. So it's probably going to go on. Yeah, I know. I can't believe Mana. Stupid jerks. This little old lady tried to check M and got in on a few. Oh, that's good, Andrew. Steve-O. All right. Yeah, so Josh asked me to just reiterate the fact that school, I think I gave you a pretty hard sales pitch there earlier, right? But school registration closes probably like tomorrow. Man, a lot of you got quite surprised by the mask, eh? All right. Oh, goodness. Wow, you guys typed a lot of messages. Yeah, just watched 2 hours ago your YouTube shorts. Damn, they might want to silence you. Uh-oh, did I say something stupid? Do we have YouTube shorts going now, Chris? Oh, all right. Isn't that weird? I sit and watch those things, but YouTube never lets me see mine, so I have no idea. I'll have to make a point to go and see. All right. And well, yeah, Andre, it is looking very, very tired. All right. And so you also say that we got Fed speakers. I know the Fed next meeting is the end of the month. So that's basically 2 full trading weeks away. But I fully expect the market to crap its pants right at the beginning of February. Does that mean, though, that they prop this market up into options expiry here? And like I said, I think the market's going to come back because of this whole debt ceiling issue. And I wouldn't be surprised if that's actually the excuse that they use to make sure that the market finished exactly where the options guys want it to finish. No, I do not think that a bottom is in. I think I had said earlier that my belief is wherever the YouTube page is, or what was it called? Twitter. Thought I had it on here. Where was the library? Oh, go back to bed. Hmm. 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 I think that the market goes like this through the year. So I think we're either in this phase right now here, or we're in this phase right now here. And actually, the more I think about this, the more I actually think that we're right here, which sucks. And I wouldn't be surprised in February we actually dump and go and bust those lows. Regardless, this is going to be an extremely volatile year. Up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down, which means that anybody who's trading the algo, man, we're going to have such a cool year. We're going to get so many buy and sell signals. The algo should just absolutely outperform remarkably. So I'm super excited. I don't think this is straight up here at all. I don't know if that answers your question. 2023 would be a great year to take all three levels, and this will prepare you to take full advantage of 2024 Bitcoin halving cycle. Yeah, yeah. Smart TBG. I mean, the issue ultimately is how much of a thirst of knowledge do you have? And some people like to use fibs. I can tell you, there's some people that I've worked with over the years. Fibs, it's like kryptonite. They hate fibs. I can't tell you what to use. What I will show you is for trade location. I'll show you a whole bunch of reasons. Trend channels, fibs, volume profile. I know, Chris, you're pretty big on volume profile, eh? Like especially day trading.
Yep, keeps me straight and true in intraday trading.
Yeah. So naked pox. Everybody loves a naked pock. Right? I think. I suppose if it's Brian's naked pock, you don't want to see that. That's pretty nasty. Horizontal support and resistance, as TBG is talking about. So I can't teach you it all in 2 weeks. It's impossible. It's just physically impossible to teach you all of the different candy. And so I actually space it out over time so you don't get utterly and completely overwhelmed. But if there's no, it wouldn't even be in your best interest to cram all of that information into like just a 12-week program, because you'd never be able to digest it all. It'd just be way too much. So as TBG is saying, the reason why it is a 36-week program is there is a hell of a lot of reasons to justify acting in the marketplace. And it might be things like intermarket analysis relationships, which of course is the dashboard and algos. That's what this is. This is the breadth of the market. It might be actual individual technical analysis reasons, things like the DI and W's in your indicators showing you that price is stronger than price would lead you to believe, i.e. divergence. Right? These are tools that TRI has built. But there's a bazillion of them. If you go on TradingView, I mean, how long is the list of the indicators? Must be like a half a mile long. So that's why the course is as long as it is because it's not in your best interest to cram it all in together. Andre says just the level 1 course will change the way you look at the whole world. Yeah, well, especially, the purpose of the level 1 course is to teach you how to run a small business of trading, with the expectation you're actually going to make money at running this business, which means that you have to force yourself to act like an institutional player and not some, this time it's different, dumbass public participant. Remember, the public always loses money at this game. I mean, I find it amusing that a month or two ago, there's an interesting statement. I don't know whether I want to repeat that, Andre. But when I went out onto a public forum and asked people what they thought of crypto a month or two ago, and you would have thought it was a bit like cancer. So how ironic, everything's rallying now. What a surprise. And the worst part about it is, of course, as soon as the public gets all excited, then we know it's the top. Denver Daily Deal says, are you going to do some stock market TA, or you have already done it? Not quite sure what it is you're looking for in particular, Mr. Denver Daily Deals, because I actually really like crypto as a leading indicator for the stock market. So as a result, ironically enough, whatever Bitcoin is doing and crypto, it's probably your leader for like the next cycle in stocks. This would be a story in the stock market that I kind of like right now, although this is cancer to all the crypto fans. And whatever is worth, Denver Daily Deals most of our audience is crypto oriented, so that's why I do garner most of my attention in the crypto space. But from what I understand, the financials are doing relatively well, and you can see how this is a level 1 course concept, the bot, sprinkled in with some Foggenbaum, sprinkled in with some price structure analysis, which also is a level 1 course concept, sprinkled in with some moving average analysis, which is actually a level 2 concept, sprinkled in with some trend line analysis, W's on other sides of trend lines, which I suppose is a level 2 concept. Over here, bullish divergence, that's a level 1 concept. Willie's stupidly oversold, that's a level 1 concept. So, and then of course, the whole sort of run your business of trading, 3 reasons for a trade. That would be a level 1 concept. So, anyway, that would be a typical stock market idea that I have right at the moment. Yeah, I think I've talked myself out. I'm running out of steam here, guys. Okay. All right. I didn't see any other questions out of YouTube, so I think you don't like naked box, JD? Oh, come on. All right. I think I'm gonna leave it at that. So I hope you guys all enjoyed the offering. It's interesting how one of our site members posted a chart from Mr. Brandt, and oh, gee whiz, doesn't that look a bit familiar, right? So that's almost exactly what I was mapping out earlier. And this level here, this S, I think it means support. I have no idea. Shoulder, maybe that's what he's thinking. That's probably our next sort of serious buying window. And ideally, what I'd love to see is let the market chop its way higher here. And then we get a serious pullback into February, March. I kind of like that idea. Sets up a base buying window. Middle of March. That wouldn't surprise me. I actually say I think it's going to come in a little bit faster than this. But it's interesting how that's a chart from Mr. Brandt. So, great yeah, I gotta stop talking now. All right, have yourselves a great day. I gotta go to the bathroom here now. PMA for the win. If you're interested, by all means, pop on the site and maybe join the school program this winter term. I think it's great value for the money spent. And if anything, we can get you set up to really kick some butt here this next cycle. All right. PMA for the win. All the best. And the only thing left for me to say is bye for now. Put my mask on, so if I puke, at least I puke into my mask and you don't.